Toad TV. Cheers.
Cheers.
I moved over to ice water. I'm Helen. I am Mary Beth, and we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, where we dye yarn and make bags.
And we have gotten an exceptionally late start to the day.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be dyeing.
And we have a 1 o'clock conference call.
1 o'clock conference call, so we gotta get our butts in gear. So, Claire, we haven't made it to the supermarket yet, so I'm on water, but once we do, I'll let you know about the smoothies. Alright, so we're gonna do a couple of questions from the other day, and today is gonna be a little bit of a short one, but then we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from the Facebook group. Kate Costantino said, hi all, newbie knitter question, first of many. The pattern calls for 2 different size circular needles and double points. How do I know when to change from one to the other? It doesn't mention switching anywhere that I can see. I did notice that, and I know that a bunch of people have already answered you on the Facebook page, but I think this is a question that a lot of people might have. So, in case your nose starts itching, you have a thread right there.
Oh, cool.
There you go. Very nicely done. Aren't you glad I called that out on the podcast? Anyway, very often patterns will call for a smaller size needle for ribbing, and then you switch to the larger size once you go into the main body of either the sweater or the hat or whatever it is you're doing.
Whatever, yeah. So
the smaller ones, if you think about the ribbing of a sweater around the cuff of a sleeve, the cuff is sometimes a little bit tighter than the rest of the sleeve. The rest of it kind of blouses
also because
a little bit.
ribbing is a naturally stretchy material,
right?
So you want to go down a little bit of a size.
So it makes it a little bit tighter around whatever the beginning or ending part is.
So you were probably supposed to switch after ribbing. I made the mental note that I was going to.
And
lost the mental note very quickly and did not.
Neither did I.
And as far as switching to the double pointed needles, that's when you have decreased so much that you can no longer go in the round on your circular needles. What I will do is just switch to magic loop because I don't do double pointed needles.
There you go. Okay. Quite a few people had a lot to say about the book. And Paula sent us an email, a very, very sweet email. Yeah. And I agree with you, Paula. She said, I think the mark of a great 5-star book is you cry even six months later when you are watching two sisters talk about it.
Which is so nice.
It really is. And I totally agree with you. If it's something that moved you so much that 6 months later it brings you to tears, to me, that is a mark of a
and that is her, because we kind of touched on it, but her character development.
Yeah.
Because losing those characters, whether you're just losing them because you finished the book or you lost them in the book, just affects you so much.
Totally. Totally. So Mandy wants to know if we're okay. Yes. We are fine. Books move us.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wonderful thing. I'm very glad that books have the power to move me because it means I'm invested in them.
Yeah.
So, Jessica Kelly says that Jodi Picoult is also a great one to draw you into stories. I have not read a lot of Jessica Picoult, but Jessica Kelly, right? Sorry, Jodi Picoult. I'm very sorry, Jodi.
Since you watch regularly.
And I'm on first name basis with her, so there. I read the one that was about the wolves. That was fascinating. That was absolutely fascinating.
Sister number 3, I think, whips through hers.
Yeah.
She loves
My
her.
mom loves her, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, our mom loves her.
I was going to read one, and she wrote one that was kind of about Columbine-ish.
Yeah.
And it was very close after Columbine, and I kind of didn't want to. And so that's always been in the back of my mind when a book, I have a choice and I can pick one of her books or not.
Right.
It's not like a conscious decision, but I think that pushes me away from her.
So she's a very, very good writer, though.
Yeah,
I have read one or two of hers, and she's very, very good. Darcy Thompson wants to know if we have tried a wool pressing mat to iron our quilt blocks.
Yes, I got one for my birthday.
She did, and it is sitting on top of the furniture in the dining room from when we were sewing in there. We have to move it in.
Because when I was doing the Lori Holt, the couple blocks that I did there, it really worked for the piecing there. And I didn't even think about it, but with the Elizabeth Hartman, I think that would be a
Yes.
a very good tool to have.
Yeah, it's a great thing. We have to be very careful about it because somebody likes to make it her bed. And we try to dissuade her from that. So we have to have a spot to put it away.
And as you can see,
go.
we are very good at saying no to animals.
Right. They don't run this place at all.
I did not put out a water bowl for the ducks or give them grapes.
Buttercup and Wesley were here yesterday drinking off the hose, so we put out water bowls for them. Because, well, they need it. Okay. Mimi says that she loves that the book club is part of the podcast. What is the next read? For June, we are doing
The Woman in Cabin 10
by Ruth Ware.
Right.
And we talked to sister number 3 about it, and she said, stay with it. It's really good. And she really likes Ruth Ware very much. So we are reading that. We have picked our books for the year. We went through and tried very carefully to pick all different genres, all different, there's young adult, there's fantasy, there's nonfiction. Mm-hmm. Not all of them may be for everybody, and we try and give you a heads up about them ahead of time. And if you don't want to read them, that's fine. We really, it's for you to do if you want.
We have a blog post listing all of them, and I will link it down below.
So that you can see and plan. Next month is a sci-fi one, retelling of Cinderella, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's up for July.
Yeah, that's Cinder's next.
Pick and choose which ones you want to do.
Yeah.
And come join us if you want. We will be doing a quick review of May's, which was the Vampire Knitting Club.
Which was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it was a fun read. It took me a little bit of time to get into it, and again, the second one I'm reading now took me a little bit of time to get into it. She needs to get going a little bit faster, I think. But once she gets into the main body of her book, then I enjoy it. So I'm reading that right now. I'm listening to The Woman in Cabin 10 as I sew. So yeah, there's that. Okay, Martha says that she listened to the Nightingale on Audible and she really enjoyed it. And she enjoyed our review and agreed with the perceptions of the story and everything. She says, when the movie comes out, will we see it? She said she often compares whether the movie stays true to a book, but frequently is disappointed. I think
that's
like 95 times out of 100, the book is better.
And that the Nightingale I'm going to put up there with the Night Circus. And there's going to be a very difficult decision as to whether I go see the movie or not.
Right.
Because I love them both so very much. And I have my version in my head. And they're gonna muck it up.
Right.
Because they're not in my head.
And also they can't do everything.
Right. And they, some people just can't leave things alone and just accept that the original is perfect.
Right.
And don't touch it. So, and with the Nightingale in particular, it is such a difficult thing, and I now know if they do it well, what it will do to me.
Right.
And do I want to sit through that again?
Right.
So.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I did see that this is the first time when they film it that Elle and Dakota Fanning will be making a movie together where they're in scenes together, because they have always played the same character. Whatever they've done before, they've always played the same character at different age levels, so that they've never actually been in a movie where they played against each other.
Oh, okay.
So that that's interesting to see. But again, it's going to depend on when they make it.
Yeah.
And if it ever does get made. A lot of times movies or books are optioned into movies and nothing ever happens. Right. AKA the Night Circus.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that was snapped up for movie rights almost immediately, and still, that was 2011?
Yeah.
And we're still waiting to see if that's going to be made into a movie. So, I don't know. All right.
It would be an on-the-fly decision.
Yeah, I think it will be. It's going to depend on
what reviews are like, and
right, and how quickly it gets made and all that kind of thing. Because I don't know when it's going to come out.
Yeah.
So, I am just checking very quickly. So Tina Kircher asked if she had ever asked if we had read anything by Susan Vreeland, and I was just checking her online. I don't think I have.
No, the name doesn't sound familiar.
However, she's got one that's called The Girl in Hyacinth Blue that centers around an imaginary painting by Vermeer.
Oh.
So it looks like she does some that are based on art, like pieces of art. All right, we're gonna have to go in and find her.
Yeah, okay.
Because no, I have never heard of her before. So that's kind of exciting. I love finding new authors. We will go check her out. Okay, so Margaret Hill said that The Nightingale was one of the best and most powerful books she's ever read. More so because her mother grew up in World War II Germany. I have to say, my mother grew up here in the United States, and she has an involuntary response to most things German.
Yeah.
And it is not in a good way. And it's...
Yeah, I mean, she was a young...
Very
she was
young.
born in 38, so...
Right, so that...
but impressionable, obviously.
Yes, and did not affect her well. However, she says, I disagree with you about the yarn, though. You are both smart, emotional women who can come up with a colorway that reflects the courage depicted in the story. I read that and I thought, you're right.
Yeah.
We could do a colorway that is based on the courage of the women that were left behind.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be with the horrible parts. You focus on
just
the strength
the beauty
and
of
the beauty.
Vianne and Isabel.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I have things percolating in my mind. Thank you very much, Margaret, for pointing that out to us.
Kicking us in the butt.
Yeah, no, that's really, it's good because you just it's like turning the kaleidoscope one switch.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden things
Everything
start falling into
yeah.
place in a different way. And so now I'm thinking of it a different way. And thank you very much because that made me think about it. And
yeah.
I'm kind of excited to do something now. I'm not sure when, and I'm not sure how it will come out, but when it's done.
Yeah, we have other things in the...
And besides, things...
It needs to sift its way
right.
through, yeah.
And all of a sudden, I will wake up one morning and say, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, that is it for our questions and comments. Thank you very, very much for everybody. Do you have anything else?
No. We will see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah.
And have a great day.
Yeah, we're going to go hit the dye pot, so have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Enjoy.